Well, just when you thought Netflix couldn't go any lower, they finally dropped season 2 of Meghan Markle's cooking show With Love, Meghan. So the Duchess of Scamelot, the Duchess of White Castle, this little huckster from Montecito, Meghan Markle, she is back. I watched the first few episodes because I must be a masochist and I do these things for you, right? I sacrifice, I'm a martyr, I do it for you guys. I watched the first few episodes. I didn't see any cooking. I didn't see any cooking in the show. That was my first takeaway, okay? I wrote copious notes on the first few episodes. There was no cooking whatsoever. It was just this crazy woman walking around doing arts and crafts and making flower arrangements. I really felt watching Meghan Markle's show, season 2. It's like she had a lobotomy or she was in an insane asylum, but she wasn't in on it. It was like the people who came over to hang out with her in her rented kitchen and to be on the show, they all were in on the joke. It's like the Truman Show with Jim Carrey. Okay, he doesn't know that he's living in this fake world and they're all like, I mean, there was one point where Meghan Markle said something that she thought was funny. Nobody reacted. And then they're like, oh, yes. Like they were all hostages. They all seemed like they were there against their will. They're fighting for their lives. Let me look at one of those quotes. So then later on in the episode, Meghan tried to get their attention again. And she said, no one's talking anymore. Yeah, because nobody wants to be there. These people were fighting for their lives. I actually felt bad for the people. And this is supposed to be a show with her best friends. These are like her best lifelong friends. She's never met most of these people before. In fact, the only person she really knows is Daniel, the makeup artist, and then she makes him do her makeup, and he doesn't want to be there either. Okay? He looks like he's being held against his will. But no, Meghan Markle, it's like she's in an insane asylum, but they've let her do arts and crafts and flower arrangements and things where she can't get hurt. That's what I felt. Okay? So one of the things she does in the episode is called water marbling. I have never heard of water marbling. It's like watercolors, but it's in water. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're at the bottom of the barrel scraping. Then they go outside and they do flower arrangements. I'm here to tell you, okay, she puts together terrible flower arrangements, but she's delusional enough to think that she's amazing at everything. And she's like, well, it's all about finding joy. It's all about finding joy. And one of her quotes, actually, that's going viral, she said, you have to anchor into your own knowing. What the hell does that mean? You have to anchor into your own knowing. This is just liberal garbledy-goop California speak, okay? Then she does this thing called Feroshki rapping. What the hell is Feroshki rapping? Okay, when she said Feroshki rapping, I was like, is that a rapper? Like Jay-Z? I was like, what is Feroshki rapping? So on the show, they decided, since she really can't cook at all, like she's a terrible chef, and then when she does cook, there are insects and bugs in her food, they just let her do arts and crafts and flower arrangements, and every person who comes over to hang out with her, they are being held against their will. And one of the women she had come over to hang out with her is none other than Chrissy Teigen. And then Chrissy Teigen could not even remember her own kids' birthdays. Let's take a look at that clip.
Tattoo of their birthdays because I don't remember.
Sweet.
Yeah. So April 14th, May, wait, is that 16 or 18? Oh no.
18.
Oh
18.
no, that's John? Is it Brett? Or no, who's this? Miles is May 16th. There we go. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit blurry.
It's all right. It's all right.
You got a husband and a tattoo to help you stay on top of all the things.
Now, Chrissy Teigen, she's bottom of the barrel gutter trash. No one cares about Chrissy Teigen whatsoever. She's made horrific comments about young kids. She bullies people online. This is the best Meghan Markle can do, though, because her A-list friends want nothing to do with her. Beyonce's not calling her, in my opinion. Oprah's not calling her. Tyler Perry. All these people are like, oh, her clout is really down. You know when Meghan Markle was useful to Oprah? When she was giving her her first exclusive interview and shanking the royal family and accusing them of racism with no evidence, right? There was no basis for her claims. But that's when she was useful to Oprah. Then Oprah was done with her. And even some of the reviews on season 2 of Meghan Markle's Netflix show. Let's put up one headline from the Daily Beast. Meghan Markle's show returns for another season of carefully curated inauthenticity. This is rough, right? The Daily Beast is no friend to the right, to even anybody who's independent. They usually love liberals. The Independent gave her 1 star. I can't find one decent review except from People Magazine. Of course, People Magazine, who I think in my opinion, works in tandem with Meghan Markle. That's just my gut instinct. People magazine is just churning out article after article about how amazing the show is. I think they think if they gaslight people, they'll believe that the show is better than it is. Now, Meghan Markle, at one point, she does decide to cook in the show, and she shows us her specialty. Her specialty is apparently putting flowers on things. She just loves to put flowers. I think she's under the impression, even if my food sucks, if I throw some flowers from my dirty, dusty, rented garden on top of the food, people will enjoy it. Let's take a look at that clip.
What was that you just added?
Flower sprinkles. I love them.
Wow, that's the gayest I've seen in a long time.
Now, Meghan Markle is the executive producer of the show. One thing I noticed in the credits, it says executive producer Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. She's really using that title. She is really using that title. She's wearing that into the ground, okay? She's really using that darn title, Meghan Markle. I think she spent 5 hours in Sussex. She's still using that title. So she's an executive producer. And one thing I kept thinking, don't you know the real royal family over in London in the UK? Catherine, the Princess of Wales, Prince William, all the kids, Charles, Camilla. They're seeing this footage if they're watching it all and going, thank you, God, she is gone. Because when you look at the Netflix show, she's executive producer. This is the best version of Meghan. This is it. When you look at With Love, Meghan on Netflix, especially season 2, this is the best cream of the crop, top of the heap version Meghan Markle can present of herself to the world. They've edited it down. She's in hair. She's in makeup. They brought people over who are supposed to bolster and boost her. And it's still a disaster. It's still cringe. She still seems like an insane woman who has been let out of a cage for a couple of hours to do arts and crafts. You understand what I'm saying? So if that's the best version of Meghan, imagine Meghan when she's angry and upset behind the scenes. Imagine Meghan when she was over in the royal family for about 18 months and they had to put up with her and there were no cameras around. If this is the best version of Meghan, imagine what they have to deal with when she's in private. That's really what I kept thinking. Now, Meghan Markle did an interview with the Bloomberg podcast to try and promote season 2, right? She's not going on the big shows because I think the big shows are done with her, right? She went on Drew Barrymore. It was a flop. It was cringe. She told some weird story about FaceTiming her kids because that's the kind of mom she is. She goes and does arts and crafts and drinks during the day instead of raising her own children. That's who Meghan Markle is. And so she went on this podcast with Emily Chang, and I want to play you a clip real first because she asked her, what would people need to know about you if they could know the truth? Let's take a look at that.
If you could choose one thing for people to know the truth about you, what would that one thing be?
No one's ever asked me that. What a great question. The one thing. Oh gosh, what's the one thing? Oh gosh, I think when I sit with it for a second here, I just want people to know that I'm a real person. And I think a lot of that gets lost in what can be super dehumanizing when you look at the clickbait culture and how much is written about someone.
Now, this is a recurring quote from Meghan Markle. I believe she has said this multiple times that there's a real person. I'm a real person. Did you guys know I'm a real person? Let me tell you, when you're a real person, you don't have to constantly remind people you're a real person, okay? You don't have to keep saying, you know what, I'm a real person. It makes me think you might be an inauthentic, phony little huckster who conned the royal family into thinking you were a Hollywood actress when you aren't, okay? You don't have to constantly say, I'm a real person. I'm a real person, you guys. Are you? Are you? Because all of your stories don't add up. You say one thing, then it's the opposite. You grew up in poverty living over a garage, and then we find out your dad allegedly paid for you to go to private school and you went to Northwestern. I don't know. Things aren't adding up, okay? You're really close with your family and your friends, but then at your royal wedding, you invited a bunch of celebrities you never even met before and then disinvited some of your own family members. So that's who the real Meghan Markle is. I want to play you this next clip of Meghan Markle, where she basically talks about being a fashion icon and wanting to move more into the fashion space.
I'm open to the possibilities of what can happen, certainly in the expansion of As Ever. I would not put beauty or fashion out of the mix. I think those are things that people associate with me.
She says people associate... She says people associate beauty and fashion with her. I think those are things people associate with me. No. What we associate with you is like borderline personality disorder, probably some type of DSM-5 diagnosis, being a huckster, like fashion icon when she's walking around in those little jean booty shorts with her scrawny legs, like fashion icon when everything she wears is wrinkled like a burlap sack. She doesn't have a steamer. She doesn't have an iron or a steamer. I mean, remember that Time outfit? It was the Time Magazine 100 event where she just wore those crazy billowing pants. And we're not going to pay for all the pictures. Y'all can go find even better pictures for yourselves. But those crazy billowing pants that Meghan Markle wore, and she thinks she's a fashion icon. I haven't seen but maybe 2 or 3 really good outfits on Meghan Markle. Honestly, 2 or 3. Even her wedding dress, even Meghan Markle's wedding dress needed another fitting. The wedding dress just didn't even look right. You know what I'm saying? So for her to say, people associate beauty and fashion with me. No, not really. You're like the Duchess of Sun Damage too. I mean, I don't think anyone's coming to you for beauty and fashion advice. And I also think you should have struck while the iron was hot. You know, if Meghan was going to do all this beauty and fashion in a clothing line, why not do it when you first left the royal family? And Meghan Markle is just one of the laziest people. She'll do like 1 drop of her jams, jellies, and dog biscuits or whatever the hell she's selling. And then she's like, well, I'm done. We've done a drop. Maybe we'll do another next year. So Meghan Markle, her show is terrible. None of these people are her real friends. They all are watching her like, oh, she's really unwell. Like, I actually think at a certain point, I might have to stop covering Meghan Markle. No, that's never going to happen. But there's a part of me covering her where I feel like this is an unwell person, right? We need to maybe add that into the conversation when we talk about Meghan Markle. In my opinion, we're not dealing with someone who has their full faculties. This seems like someone who is unhinged, who has some type of issues, and maybe we need to stop trying to, need to stop expecting her to live in a normal world and to do normal things. And I think Prince Harry, who grew up in the royal family, it's interesting, he's nowhere to be found here in season 2. Haven't seen him yet. He's probably avoiding this show like the plague. Okay, he's probably at home on psychedelics and mushrooms and maybe some of her jams and jellies, just praying he can get out alive as well. Because Prince Harry, he was in the royal family. His mom was Princess Diana. He knows class upon class and elegance. This is one of the most low-rent things I've ever seen. Low-rent things I've ever seen. I mean, she's in a kitchen doing flower arrangements and thinking she's the next Martha Stewart or the next Gwyneth Paltrow Mother Goop. Okay, this is some low rent stuff. But no, I actually think Meghan Markle is unwell. And Meghan Markle, I also imagine we could hear some screams from Montecito yesterday because that was supposed to be Meghan Markle's big day, right? Season 2 of her Netflix show is coming out. It's Meghan's big day. And then Taylor Swift announces her engagement. Taylor Swift announces her engagement and upstages Meghan Markle's big day. And we actually, unlike any other podcast, we got some footage on Meghan Markle's reaction to finding out Taylor Swift announced her engagement. Let's take a look. That is literally Meghan Markle. Okay, that is how I imagine her, okay? She's in the McMansion in Montecito with Harry and the kids and the nannies and Doria. And it's supposed to be her big day. And for the first few hours on social media, people are talking about her Netflix show, even if it's being canned and getting 1-star reviews. Taylor Swift's announcement of her engagement pushed every other story to the bottom of every news site. Okay, down to the bottom. And then the Prince and Princess of Wales were liking Taylor Swift's post. And, you know, Taylor Swift has had interactions with Prince William before. I believe they sang with Bon Jovi on stage. I believe they sang Living on a Prayer maybe 10, 15 years ago. So maybe we'll see the Wales family at Taylor Swift's wedding. I know they went to the concert. So no, Meghan Markle, she's been totally upstaged. This Netflix show is a flop. I don't think we'll be getting a season 3. If this was even a season 2, it seemed like a lot of leftover footage. I don't know about you, but after I travel, my skin is dry. That's when Peak's Radiant Skin Duo came to the rescue. This doctor-recommended duo, trusted by experts like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Jason Fung, and Dr. Will Cole, supports whole body wellness from the inside out. Sun Goddess Matcha provides steady, calm energy throughout the day, packed with L-theanine for focus and EGCG antioxidants. It supports skin clarity and gut health. BT Fountain electrolytes hydrate like nothing else and help lock moisture in, making skin look amazing. And Peak ensures all ingredients are free from heavy metals, pesticides, and mold. If you need more hydration, then give Peak a try. Get 20% off plus a free frother and glass beaker here, peaklife.com/link. Again, that's peaklife.com/link.